Okay, so we are working on 2.10, which is calculating the unknown angle with the tangent ratio. So we've done the ratio. So what's our ratio again? Tan is equal to opposite over adjacent. Awesome. And what's our acronym we use? TOA. So important to remember those things every single time we deal with the tangent ratio. It's important to do that. Now we built up to the last part of that last lesson to figure out what the degrees of the angle in question are. So we get given a number by doing opposite over adjacent, and then to find out that actual answer, we got to do what's called the inverse of tan, or what we looked at before is that tan -1, right? Because when we bring it to the other side, becoming negative, and it's the inverse of it, therefore we can find out what the angle is using that inverse of tan. And remember, on your calculators, you might need to press that button, then that button, okay? It's important to remember, okay? So the instructions for this are to show all of your work to guarantee full marks and to round off your tangent answers to 4 decimal places if necessary, okay? And that's kind of where we're going with all this. So example 1 says calculating an unknown angle with a tangent ratio. So calculate the measure of the unknown angle and round off your answers to the nearest full degree if necessary. So by looking at this triangle right here, this right angle triangle, what angle is in question here? What angle are we looking at? Exactly. So we're looking at this angle right there. And the diagram itself shows that we're going to use X as that angle, okay? So we know TOA is our acronym, and tan, instead of writing R, because that's the angle in question, they have an X there. It's going to be tan X is equal to what? Exactly. Opposite over adjacent, or OPP over ADJ. So then we can begin to fill in some of our blanks. What is our opposite side in this scenario? 5, right? Because it is opposite of the angle in question. And what's our adjacent side? 8, because it's right beside it, right? It's not the hypotenuse, and it's right beside it. So therefore, it is our adjacent side. So then when we rewrite this, it would be tan X is equal to 5 over 8, okay? And tan X would then be equal to, what's 5 divided by 8? 0.625, okay? So we should be at this point here where tan X is equal to 0.625. So remember, we now have our ratio, and if we want to find X to the nearest degree and keep X by itself, what do we need to do with that tan? Yeah, so by keeping X by itself, we're going to bring it over, and it's going to become tan -1, or the inverse of tan, because we want X all by itself. So then X would be equal to 0.625 tan -1. And if we plotted that into our calculators, we would get, okay, so 32.005, but it asks us to round it to what? Yeah, our nearest degree. So in this point, it is 32 degrees. So we found the unknown. The unknown is always going to be that one variable. It could be X, it could be Y, it could be Z, it could be A, whatever it is. But in this case, we see that it's X. And we found out that in this case, X is equal to 32 degrees. All right, in the triangle AQF, what is our angle in question here? Exactly. So A, and it's right over in this area here. So we know TOA. We're always going to write that for now when we're doing these tangent questions. So it would be tan, and we know it's angle A, but what are we using in this scenario here? X as our variable is equal to opposite over adjacent. What is our opposite side length here? 12, because it's opposite that angle in question. And our adjacent side, 45 meters. So we've got tan x is equal to 12 over 45. Tan x then is equal to, yeah, 266. And remember, when we're doing these, we rounded to how many decimal places? 4. So it would be, since it's 666 repeating, it would be 7. Okay, so 2.2667. Okay. Okay, no worries. It does say it. It will usually say it on your quizzes, and it also should say it on your lessons and assigned work. Okay. So what's our next step if we want to find x? Yeah, so we take that thing and we move it over. Becomes tan negative 1. So then x, if we had 0.2667, and we hit that tan negative button, what do we get? 15. And what measure is that? 15 what? Degrees. Awesome. Okay.